Hi guys, I hope you all are fine. In previous video, I have talked about the deployment of in Kubernetes, how we deploy the things, and a very major component of the Kubernetes in the Kubernetes. So now I am come again in another topic, which is a very good one. So before that, let us start with the use case of this topic. Let's suppose I have the application and I can suppose that this is my website application. Okay, and I have the image on it and make an image, and then I have deploy it with the help of deployment. Let's suppose I have deployed, and after that I have exposed it over the internet, so my client can access my application from over the internet. So the things is up to date and all the things are done, means our application controller are there, replica set is there, or all the things are working good to fine. But what happened, and next time my developer need to change, means he wrote some, this is my website in first image, this is my first website, this, let's suppose it's a content, and second time he want to change something, that this is my second page or second website. Okay, so now the challenge is that you can see, so he can, what he can do, he just go into my port of the deployment inside the pod, and he knows where is my application is running, means my web root document is running, because he knows the image. And after that he push, he changes in the pod. So let's suppose he goes into the pod and he write that this is my second page. So once it's done, so again my client see updated page, like they my client can see this content as well, this content as well. So the challenge is what, where the challenge is where, if what if the things has been down. Let's suppose I have, uh, let's suppose I have a one port which is one port, and which is running with the help of deployment, and all the codes are changes and up to date here. So but the challenge is that, what if my pod is down? Let's suppose any mishap done, and my pod have been crashed. So the deployment has the duty to relaunch the image. So the deployment relaunch the image, but the deployment don't know what from where, means deployment will launch my image from where, means the deploy in the from the old image, from the old image, but the content and the data we will lose. So this is the thing which we have facing and challenging. This thing means, if we have some data and we want to that data a permanent or permanent on the data for so we have the data in pod, and pod has been down. Once is down, the deployment relaunch it with the help of image, but my old data is lost. So this is the challenge or with the problem which I have faced whenever my pod is launch or delete or update or grade. So for this to overcome, we have another resource in the Kubernetes, which is the name of the uh, uh, resource, which is called persistent volume. So till now, let me show you about the practical. So what I have given to you. So let's start till that one. Then we will go for the persistent volume. So this is my machine. So there is no pod available. There is, let's see, there is there any deployment or not. So there is no deployment. So I have one deployment file, which is this one. So this is the deployment, kind of deployment. The name of deployment is httpd. Match and selector is available. Replica is one. I have just put it here. It's depend upon you. Okay. And after the means container, I am using my image, which is on Docker Hub, and it's available. And I have made this image, so I know where is the path of or the location of my content. Okay, so let's deploy it. So just create -f and deployment. So this is done. So let's expose it. So it's very simple one. So expose deployment name. I know the my machine or my web server is running on 84TT, and I am going to here use a node port, load balancer, you can say. So expose, it's done. So get svc, let me do it. Get svc. I have got this. Go on to the 10.182.3.193, putting this. So till now my website is running and working fine. So let's move in the second part, which I have told you that let's my developer have changing in code. So how it's changing? So there is different methods. So one of the method is to go in directly on the port. So I'm going into the port. So -it and then port name and then --bash. So I know. So var www.html, it's my index.html. So this is my file, and I have written here, this is my new code. Once it's done, so I have just save it, execute it, and done. So if my new client come up, so he can see my new code. But what happened here, if my pod have been crashed or I have something issue with the deployment? So let's see, any issue has been come up and we face a downtime of the pod. And what happened? So deployment will create my new pod, and but the problem and challenging is that. So let's see, the deployment has created my new pod. Yep, it's created one. So now we have, means again my client come up, and right now we have this one code, that this is my new code, Linux for everyone. This is my first page, world fine, thank you. So now, but our code have been deleted where we have written this code. But now again client come up, he can see my old version of the code. So the problem is that we are facing a issue which is need to be permanent basis. Means if my code have been changed and my things are with changes, but my data will never be lost. So this is a challenge which we are facing right now. So for this, how we can overcome this? So the solution is persistent storage. So that is one. So for that one, we have means persistent storage. We can talk about little bit more about the storage one. So there is two type of storage one. One is the static storage and one is the dynamic storage. So in this lecture we will talk about the static one. In static one we and forget about the dynamic, because when you are going to be the dynamic, you need some storage class to be added in your code. So you need to be, so it is also called PV. Okay. So so how can we get the static one? So developer will tell you that how many storage you needed for this code. So and it should be a persistent or data never be lost. So let's suppose he gives the 10 GB storage. He wants a 10 GB storage. So you have to be created 10 GB storage on behalf of developer. So how can you do that? And one more thing, he developer will tell you which location you want to be permanent or persistent. So the developer will also tell you the location of the volume you need to be persistent or their data will not be lost. So for here, in my case, I have var ww HTML is my location where my all the data will come. My developer will put all the data on this location, and this data never be lost. So this is a challenge uh, from as a DevOps engineer. So we have to provide a great solution to them. I mean, data will never be lost, and the data size of the is 10 GB. So for that you need a PV, a persistent volume, which is comes from any storage domain. So it may be a GCP, it may be on AWS, Azure, or your local machine. You can say it. You can use it for the testing forward or NFS as well. So we will talk about more about NFS as well in my next video, inshallah. So for how to create the PV, and so before that you means your developer need a claim. So for that you need to ready a PVC. First of all, a PVC need created persistent volume claim. Sorry, it's called persistent volume claim. So you need to create the PVC. Then you have to create the PV, and PV will create from your storage domain, comes from the storage domain. So first you have to create this, and the data will become of this, and then you have to then after once the PVC is created, you have to attach your PVC with your pod or your deployment. So it's nothing big one. So this is also a called a binding or bonding. So once first you have to create the PVC persistent volume claim. You need to be means a 10 GB one, and and other the rest of the other parameter I will talk about one by one. Then you have to create the PV, and then PV you have to tell about the axis mode and all the things, and the mount point as well. And after that you have to change in your deployment. Once the PVC is bound, then you have to come on your deployment file, and in deployment file you have to change the specification. You have to tell them volumes, and then after volumes you will talk about the your mount point and rest of other parameter. That is not a big deal, so I just tell you one by one. So here we are talking about the static class. Okay, static storage or statically storage. So let's remove my let's go into the practical and move into the uh, practicals. So we have created that one, so let me delete minus minus all. So now in this video means we will teach about the persistent volume claim, and how we attach your volumes with your deployment or the file. So first of all we have to create the PVC kubectl get PVC. Let me see, there is no PVC. I have created a one file for the PVC, so I will explain one by one. There is no big challenge. So there is a API version 1, and the kind is the persistent volume claim, and the metadata or the name of the persistent volume is the my PVC. In specification I have storage class name is null. So it's mean we have uh, let me show you here. So it's mean I have talk about yeah. So in storage class, it's mean that I have forcefully defined its static PVC statically, not a dynamically created we have. So it's the name of the kind, and the name of the kind is this one. In specification, I have defined forcefully the storage class name, which is the, you can see the SC in your Kubernetes. So with the help of kubectl get SC, then access mode. The access mode is means there is two type of storage has two categories like that one. One is the read only, and one is the read write. In read write we have another two categories. One is the read write once and read write many. So for that one, if means we have like CD and all the things which is just only for the read purpose. So read write means read write once or read write many. So you have, if you have any multiple users on it, so you can choose your access mode of your storage will be read write many, or if you have just one pod or something means you have one services, so you can go with the read write once, and the resource which we need it and request it storage is 10 GB. So this is the thing which is creating a PVC. So let me create it. kubectl get period minus PVC. So it's created. Let's see the PVC status. So right now it's in a pending mode. So why it's pending mode? Let's describe this. Describe PVC and my PVC. So instead that status is pending, there is no volume, finalize this protection, then access mode we have given to them, and there is no right now because of file system, the file to binding. Persistent volume controller says there is no persistent volume available for this claim, and it means there is no storage class is set. However, we have set it the storage class, that is, but that is a static one. So for that we have to create a storage volume which is a persistent volume. How we can create that one? So let's go. So right now you can see kubectl get PVC there is in a pending state. So right now it's not ready to attach with your pod or your deployments. Okay, so for that one you have to go on another to create the PV. So I have created a PV file as well. So let me show you. So this is my PV file. So let me again just move into this one, and let me move and show to you here and explain to here. Sorry, this one. Yeah. So this is my PV file which tell me about the persistent volume. Sorry. This tell about this is the persistent volume, and the persistent volume has class same as it is, and the capacity which I need means I have to go on my storage and I have to get this chunk of 10 GB. So this is called your capacity. Okay, and the capacity is 10 GB and the access mode right same as it is. So one is the thing is here host path. Why we are using this path here? So for this, because there are multiple plugins, means where your data need to be up persistent. Let's suppose I have this server and it has the NFS, okay, or it's, let's suppose it has on AWS, or the AWS has created my one of the uh, so I first of all I have changed my storage class, and my storage class will connect to the AWS class, and then I will get my host from here, and then I can come configure it. So right now you have seen that the host path I am using here is a local path, local. So I have master, I have three worker nodes. One is a master, worker, and worker. So I have created my one file, and I get the storage from my master right now. You can get the storage from your AWS or GCP or Azure, anything, any from anywhere you can, Azure or GCP, you can get it. So right now I don't have any such means facility to means to go for this spectrum, but definitely I will go for that one as well. So right now we are just testing phase. So just to I'm just creating a storage from my master server or my worker node. You can go anywhere on your cluster and create this path where, and we will tell this that this and we mount this path to my PVC or in my deployment. Okay, so I will show you definitely. So host path, I have just means my host path where, and the path keyword is here, and my path is this one. So I created this storage on my local machine. From my local machine I created, and I need a storage on from my local machine. So this is not a big challenge. So just go on to the my right now I am just I am on my one node, so I have just created this one. So there is no data right now. Let's go and check as well on with the deep dive. So let's go and analyze. There is nothing else. Okay. So let's my directory. Sorry. Yes. So let's create this PV because in PVC we have seen that he also means PVC is looking some storage which is created by manually by us. Okay, so let's create pv.yaml. Okay, once the PV is created, so it will be automatically attached with my PVC. How? So it will be, let's see, PV is created or not. It's created. So my the PVC this one, read write ones, claim policy is retained, and the bound status with the default of my PVC. So right now this is the status. So let's see the status of kubectl get PVC. So it's bounded. So you can see it's bounded. It's bound status. Volume is my PVC. This one, and this in and 6 minutes ago. So now we have completed two things. One is the PVC and one is the PV. So now my storage is ready and use it to with here deployment. So I have just created a deployment file with as well, same as it is, but I have just extra things here I have added. So let me explain you from where we have to change it in our deployment file. In just come on in your specification, I have let me go from here. So you can just come up here. I have just come first in the specific. In a specific, you have to claim the your uh, volumes. You have to insert the volumes. You want to attach a volume with your container or in your deployment. So after what you are attaching a persistent volume claim. You, and the claim name is my PVC, which is come from your PVC. Okay. So after that you have created this one in your specification. Once is done, so now you have to attach your specification with this one from here. Your name is reflecting here to use this container. Let's suppose if we have multiple container in the deployment. So let's suppose it's a one container and one container here. So, and we have specification and we have volumes and we have multiple volume 1, volume 2. So how can we recognize that volume 1 is related to the C1, or volume 1 is related to the C2, and volume 2 is related to the C1 or is related to the C2? So how we can examine that, or how can we check it. So this is the name which is very important when you are creating the volumes in the specification. So what is the name of here? Whatever we have put it here, you have to put the same name in your container. So just come on the container, you have just volume mounts. Okay, at parameter, you this thing will be can easily get from the documentation of the Kubernetes. So don't worry about the code or something like that. You have just need to be some concept about the using of PVC and PV, and how we can attach our PV or PVC with deployment or ports. So volume mounts and the mount path, because this thing is come from the development, we know it. So it may be your MySQL or MariaDB or any database. So you have to know about your path of your the data where you have it's located. So we have put it the var www.html. So all the content comes on this path. All are the all are the uh, all are the will be persistent in the claim, or the name, and how can we attach my PVC with the help of name. So let's attach or run this thing. All the things are same: the specification, selector, replicas, container, name of the container, port of the container. Just the thing is that image is the same. The thing is that volume mounts is my the things which is need to be changed or claim. Okay, so I hope you all know very well this thing. So let's see, any ports is running. So right now there is no, so let's create -f PVC. So it's done. So let's see any kubectl get ports. Port is running. That's great. So let's expose it. Expose deployment name. My port number is 80, and minus type, or type equal to not port. So let's check the SVC, and then we have to move again on our practical. So right now, if I go and change this thing, and you previously my image have this content, but if you have some concept about the storage, so you know this thing is comes from my storage, uh, because I have created already a file in my same location, but you may delete it, and you can see and check it. kubectl get PVC, kubectl get PV, and retain policy is over there. So get kubectl get PV. Okay, so my things and my data is on my machine. So let's change in the code and go into the your kubectl get ports. Let's change into some code, and then we check and delete the port, and then we check the things is still permanent or not. Okay, so this is my first launch, and we see this page. Okay, let's suppose we have changing in our code, and once we done it, so it's running or not, same as it is like we have. So I'm in my just code, and then HTTP index. I going to change this one. This is my second new page. Okay, and it's done, and exit, and here is my new data come up. Okay, so now previously we have seen that we have changing the data, and we accidentally deleted our port, and once the deployment recreate my port, the port has come with my old data. So right now we have deploy a PV here, so my data will be still same if the pod have been deleted. So how can we check it? So just let me delete my pod. Sorry, kubectl delete and then pod, and then I will create this one. So it's deleted now, and I have to lose this my new second page, and then this should become. Let's see the PV is working or not. If the data will not close, so that means the PVC is working fine. So I have this one. So let's go into this port first. Check the data. The data is there or not. So I var www.html index.html. So this is my second new data page is here. So let's enter here. It's same as it is. So it's mean my data is still in my pod. If the pod have been deleted or deleted or somehow crash, but my data will not be lose here. So I have to tell some more things. There is about the PVC. So kubectl PVC we have kubectl get PV. So in PV we have reclaim policy and bound status. So once and let me just explain you like this. CTL ports get PVC, kubectl get PV. Okay, so here we have means a PVC PV. Let me just make like this one. Here we are have three things in the things. One is the PV, one is the PVC, one is the port. So PV is attached with my PVC and PVC attached with my port. So means if and my port is attached with my deployment. Okay. So what I am going to tell is here that is one is the reclaim policy. We have the retain policy is here. Retain means if the PVC is deleted, let's suppose it's deleted. Although it's not deleted, it's deleted once your pod is deleted. And pod, how we can we delete this pod? But permanently, you have to delete the deployment. Once the deployment has deleted, your things will be changes. So let's check and delete the deployment. Delete deployment. Deployment name. Okay, I have deleted my deployment. So let's check anything changes here come up. There is no change right now. Okay, so let's delete the PVC. Delete PVC. So it's deleted. Let's see any PVC is available. There is no, so we have just left PV only. So right now it's release. Before that it was a bound. So let me show you here you can see it's bound status, but right now it's release in status, and reclaim policy is still retain. So there is three types of policies in reclaims. We have means recycle policy, we have delete policy, we have a retain policy. Right now by default it has retain. Retain means it's like your data, if the things PV deleted, PVC deleted, or your port or deployment deleted, so your data is still in the PV, in the permanent storage, so you can use it anytime. Okay, but the claim will be done by this one by default. And the status is right now release. You can see in my this one right now, this one, but before that it was is bound with this one. So one is the retain on cycle its policy is like, means we have a limitation, means your, if your reclaim policy is recycle, your or PVC is deleted, so your main data is also deleted. Data is also deleted. So you cannot recover your data. Not able to recover the data. So this is the problem in the recyclable. So you need have some testing that you need a PVC, and after once the PVC have been tested, you don't need to that data. So at that time you can use this policy and delete, and you can see you can means delete your all the things in PV or all that stuff like that data. So this is a three types of reclaim policy. You can change it with the help of your, means if I can go get PV, so you can just edit, or you can go on to the uh, your file and change the reclaim policy. So let me reclaim policy is retain. This is one. So let me just try it recycle. Let's see is work or not, or otherwise we have to some go for the documentation or not. Uh, it's release, it's release, it's available. Okay, so this is the main difference. Its status is release, there is no connection with the PVC. After once you reclaim policy have been changed to the recycle, it says available, so anyone can attach this policy, anyone can attach or use this storage. So this is the main difference, those three things. I hope you like this video, and we will go for the dynamic persistent volume as well in my next video. If you have any confusion, any things you haven't understand well, please let me know. And thank you for watching for this video, and please subscribe and share to the video with rest of your fellows. Thank you guys. Thank you. Bye.